So today's guest, he's from Road Rules Northern Trail, and he's a two-time challenge champion, Dan Setzler. Thanks for joining me today, Dan.
Hey, thanks for having me, Mike. Appreciate you.
So what have you been up to these days since, we haven't been seeing you on the challenge?
Yeah, right. It's been a long time. I've just been kind of floating around and doing music and doing things for just making money. And I kind of take it easy for everybody. And right now I'm in Nashville, Tennessee, and I live out on a ranch with a couple dogs. And yeah, just trying to create a bunch of stuff, and that's about it.
It's nice. Love it.
Yeah.
Talk to me a little bit about your casting process.
Casting to get on the show, the original Road Rules show. When I did it, they just came on the channel and said send in a tape of you and why you want to be on the show. So I did that. I just talked like my video, and this is back like VHS. Like we sent videos back and forth, and I just sat there and talked about stuff I like to do. You know, a lot of people did like crazy, like I'm so crazy, I'll be on Road Rules, I'll do all this stuff. I just talked about what I do. You know, I had like a t-shirt collection, like shitty garage sale t-shirts, and I took them through my collection, why I like them. I liked the Rolling Stones back then, so I just kind of like acted stupid and just did like kind of like a lip sync to a couple Rolling Stone songs, and just like it'd be like if you were hanging out with me. So I did like a tape like that, and then they interviewed me for like 3 months, and I just kind of every 2-3 weeks they'd be like, "Oh, you made the next round." I'd be like, "All right," and this was my sophomore year of college, so it's like spring semester, my sophomore year of college, and yeah, three months of just interviewing, and then they had me fly out to LA, and I interviewed for a weekend, and then they like, you know, they kind of pretend like they surprise you to take you away and like steal you for the next thing. So they like came to my hometown, and they told me, "Oh, well, you have to be ready to go this weekend, either Saturday or Sunday. We don't know if we're going to take you." But then they basically, the person who was like the casting agent or whoever, they basically let you know that it was probably going down. So yeah, that was about it. And they just came pick me up, and yeah.
So talk to me a little bit about your friendship with Theo Vaughn.
Theo Vaughn?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Theo. Me and him have been tight ever since we did the show. It was probably 2002 or 2004. I don't know, whatever. Yeah, man, he's my guy. Him and Tim Baggy are like the two kind of people I really talk to from back in the day. We on one of the challenges we stayed till the very end. And we've just been tight every time we're in each other's towns. We meet up, and it's been real awesome to see Theo and watch him like do his stand up. I mean, that guy's been like grinding it for 15 years, just straight, just doing comedy, stand up, and like, you know, it's good the last like, you know, 2-3 years to see all of his stuff just blowing up. Because what's awesome is that Theo's been like, the kind of the realer he gets, like the bigger he gets. Like he really is that guy that had like, I mean, it's a little exaggerated. I don't know if you've ever seen his podcast or you've followed him, but you know, it's really like hanging out with him. Like he is that funny and just kind of crazy. I mean, he says the craziest shit. It'll sound like the weirdest backwoods, like funniest shit you ever heard, and then he'll make some historical reference that like nobody even knows, you know, like he's like super intelligent and super like just not intelligent at the same time. Sometimes it's so awesome. So anyways, but yeah, Theo, I still keep in touch with him for sure.
Was there anybody else that you kind of resonated with or drew closer to through the shows? besides the guys you obviously mentioned?
I mean, I have my castmates that I still will just send a few messages back and forth with during the year, but no, not really. After that, it was after I did 3 of the challenges, and after the last one, I kind of did some like speaking tour, public engagements with some of the people. So but everybody's spread out, and like I said, I mean, I just kind of took a couple really good friends, and after that, no.
Right.
Yeah.
So you took a little bit of a layoff from, I believe it was your second season, from your going on to your third. How did your return come about?
Well, those shows, they always just kind of call you up and say, "Hey, we're going to do this in 3-4 months. Are you available?" Kind of thing. So yeah, they just ask you back, and it's if they can, make a story off of you, they want you back. So they had me back a couple different times, and then I think they kind of ran out of stories on me. So or I don't know, maybe I got too old or something. I don't know.
We'll never know, I guess.
Yeah, you never know.
So what opportunities came out of you doing these shows, like appearances, or was anything like offered to you?
Yeah, well, I mean, for the years following it, I just I was able to like make a living, like going and talking to colleges or speaking engagements or appearance types things, and it didn't last too much longer. I think I mean, I did like back in Minneapolis where I'm from, I did like commercials and print ads and stuff like that. Just kind of local stuff. I mean, some of it was national, but it was all done in Minneapolis. And, so I had kind of a modeling career, acting career doing that. And I'm sure because of my stint on TV, I got a lot of jobs out of that. But other than that, nothing too much.
Mm-hmm. So you obviously did shows with some guys that are kind of regarded as some of the, I guess you can call it, legends of the challenge and considered
for sure.
So I'm just going to name off a few names, and I'm just going to basically ask you for your perspective on these people.
For sure.
Mark Long.
Yeah, Mark that guy's great. We've had a lot of good times on the show and off the show, like doing appearances and stuff like that. I mean, that guy is just like electric. He's always on. He's always on. He's always up for something. There's always just something going around, and then, but he's like a real sweet guy too. Like he'll be like electric, boom, 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 going back and forth, and then you play like some smooth R&B song, and he'll just be totally like into it and can't get out of it. He's like an emotional guy like that too. So yeah, he's awesome.
What about the Miz?
The Miz, I mean, I love the Miz. That guy was I was just on one of the challenges with him, so I only knew him for a few weeks, or I mean, we were there for like 3-4 weeks, I think, but he was like just a great dude. Like it was just like I saw him as just a really nice guy, real like fun and just kind of outgoing. And then back when I did it, that was early 2000s. He had the whole Miz, he had the whole thing going, so he would break into that character, and I don't know if that was like, I mean, the wrestlers, they talk about going into the character and never coming out of it. So I mean, forever, like all night long, and so that was the only thing I'd say about it. I was like, man, that's, back then it was a little weird, but it's like now he's the Miz, and like he became that WWE star, and it's like, or WWE, WWF. I don't even know which one he was a big
yeah.
star of. The E, right? And you know, and now it doesn't seem so weird. But yeah, he was. But I always liked him. We were always cool.
Mm-hmm. What about Derek Kaczynski?
Derek, well, I was only with him like maybe like a week or two, but just a real good dude. I don't know, like he was a solid, nice guy. He was really funny too, but I really didn't know him too well. Like, well, we actually, what did we do? We did like I don't know, we did an appearance or something together, and I don't know. I never really like stayed in contact with him, but every time we hung out, he was fun.
Mm-hmm. What about Brad?
Again, yeah. Well, Brad was great. We like hung out with him. Or I hung out with him for a long time because we were there for a good like 4 weeks together, and then you know, he got pissed at us because we had an alliance going at the end of our challenge, and he really wasn't a part of it because it was like something we had like planned out way in advance. But like he was cool. I mean, he like took it and said his piece, and like, but after that we were all cool. Like it was I don't know. I mean, I think he was just cool for being cool about everything and being a good guy.
Right. Two more names for you, Abe and Alton.
Abe, I didn't really know Abe that well. I really at all. I couldn't really say much about him. And then who else?
Alton.
Alton, yeah, I couldn't talk about those guys. If I met them, that'd be about all I could say.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
So obviously, social media in the current age of the challenge obviously plays a huge part. How different do you think your shows would have been had social media been prominent?
I mean, I think they would have been a lot bigger. I think it would have, like they would have just been, like instead of just having the one channel MTV where you could see it, it could be, broadcast like all over the place right now. I mean, if you had ties into, Instagram and like TikTok and all that stuff, it'd be ridiculous. You'd have, a ton of promo of those shows on all the platforms. So, it would just be way bigger. Yeah, I mean, with comparing it to back then, like back then, you just had the one way to see it.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. So talk to me a little bit about your thoughts on the show's progression, because now they actually, the last 4 or 5 seasons, the prize total is $1 million now.
Yeah, for sure.
So what are your thoughts on that?
Well, it's just, it's advertising. All the show is really a game show. Like even like the original Real Worlds and stuff like that. It's a game show. You're on there. You might get kicked off. You might not. It's not really like, nobody really like earns something. It's just a prize is won. So, if the stuff's up to $1 million for the prize money, it's definitely because the advertising's worth it. Like they must just not, they didn't have that much money back then for it, or they did and they kept it all. And now they see that, if we put up $1 million, we'll make $10 million more, it's all advertising. So kind of blows. I'd like to be a part of that cash, but
yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So after your last season of Battle of the Sexes 2 that you won, what kind of swayed you to not do any more challenges after that?
I would have done more challenges. They didn't really ask me back for it, but that last one I kind of didn't really give them anything to work with, so I kind of was, I guess, I'm not sick of it. I just I don't know. I guess I kind of just didn't need it, at that point. So my attitude was just kind of like, I don't know. I didn't care either way. And yeah, but then they never asked me back anyways, so whatever. I mean, I've sent a couple emails, I think maybe 2, 3, 4 years later or something, to the casting people that I was, had kept in contact with, and was like, hey, get me on, where I was like probably not making money or something, or in between something, and I was like, hey, let me back on. And it was more of a joke than anything, but I did send a couple emails being like, hey, what are we doing for the next one here? They didn't want me, so that's how it goes.
Shame.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, your winning percentage is actually one of the best. So I mean, it would have been nice to see you come back.
Well, yeah, I mean, I got to, I ended up winning a few of them, even the ones like that we lost. Like we made deals, so we still made money on it. Like the one with me and Timmy, me and Timmy and Theo. The Real World actually won that, but we split the money before we even did the final thing. So we all came out with stuff. So yeah, but like I said, it was a game show. I won some prizes. It was cool, but other than that, I mean, I just got to do crazy shit. That was like the best part.
So obviously, you alluded to music being key component in what you like to do. What are some other hidden talents and hobbies that we might not know about you?
Well, I'm like my hobbies are basically like I said, I like to do like write songs and sing and play music like that. I've played music in bars and made a living doing that for a while. But really, my biggest thing is probably kind of like health, wellness, posture, and kind of breathing and body, like exercises. I kind of am actually probably gonna, or I am gonna do like a YouTube channel of like kind of a bunch of like, they'll be kind of like workout videos, but they'll basically be like just all about changing your posture and carrying yourself differently, and deep breathing, and like kind of that kind of stuff is what I'm really into. So if you ever have any pain, or you ever like, ever want to like just get happier, like come and talk to me, and I'll tell you some certain things about how to make your feet not hurt after walking on them, or like how to make your lower back not hurt, like that kind of shit. I know that's not like really a talent people want to hear about, but that's what I'm into. And then I just love golfing.
Oh well, everybody loves golf, I think.
I know, I love it. Yeah, like I like think about it a lot, too much actually. But
so yeah. So on the seasons, they kind of recently done, the last like 15 seasons or so. Two of the most popular, formats that they do now that weren't around when you were there. They do a rivals and an exes season where they pit you with either your worst enemy or someone you got into like a fight, or someone you had a fling or whatever with.
For sure.
Would you have liked to go on a rivals or exes season, and who could you have seen yourself with?
Oh man, I mean, yeah, I mean, I'd love to do those regardless of really what they are. But yeah, I mean, I kind of did. They put me on the Battle of the Sexes when I did it. They put me on the one with like my ex-girlfriend, or my girl I kind of dated on the show, and then that same season they put someone else, Holly, who was on there. Like they had like a thing about her on my original, so they kind of like put me back with a couple exes. But I mean, I'd love to do that stuff. I mean, it's cool. They just wanted like drama. They want the competition drama, but they want like people to be like fucking or fighting, so they're gonna do whatever it takes to do that. Either fill people up with alcohol, or put the two exes in the same room together.
Yeah. So a new twist that they do. Not sure if you're aware or heard about it. They've done this twice on two rival sort of seasons where the pair that wins has whichever of the two does the best, like in the final. They keep track of like your entire points or whatever. Yeah. They have the choice to either split the winning prize money down the middle or keep it all for themselves, essentially giving their partner nothing. Say that you and a rival of yours win that season, and it's your choice to split the money or keep it. What would you do?
So what? So like, what do you do? Do they pick whether they keep or split before they do the final thing? Is that what they do? Kind of a deal.
They do it down on the spot. Like when they announce who wins, they're like, okay, we kept tally of like who. So say if there's an eating portion, right? Whoever does the bulk of that, they're like, okay, so they get the point for that section. Whoever gets like the best clock time and like the long distance run part of the final, puzzles, like anything like that. Whoever has like the most, basically whoever's contributed the most towards you guys winning that final, it's their choice as to who keeps the money.
Oh, I got you.
So
I'm a really nice guy, so I'd probably split the stuff. But if there was someone on there that like fucked me over, I wouldn't hesitate to like keep all the money. If it was like someone who was like if it was like an unkind person, I might screw him over. Like, right. Like not even done something to me, but if they were like unkind to like, the people on the show while we were there, or like, they were a dick to the waiter or something, like that kind of person, I might be like, you know what? I'm going to do this for the team. I'm going to keep all this money.
Yeah, but believe it or not, both times they did the twist. The person whose choice it was, they stole it both times.
Really? They just took it straight up?
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't surprise me. I'll just leave it there.
Right. So I know a lot of time has surpassed, but say they did a season, for example, Winners at War, when it's like all the people who have won a challenge.
Yeah.
And you received contact to do it. Would you do it?
Oh yeah, I'd love to. Yeah. Hell yeah. I'm actually like stronger and faster than I was ever. So yeah, of course I'd love to. Like I don't got any injuries or anything, so yeah, let's do it.
Sort of like a last question now. I'm gonna ask you, what are your thoughts on Survivor? Because that's obviously a pretty popular show, and they kind of rival, I'd say, the challenge, since they're both similar and they're on different networks. So what are your thoughts on the Survivor?
Survivor, that one kind of like, because we were MTV, we were cable channel, and then Survivor was like the first network one that came out. So it was just a lot bigger and whatever. The format, I don't like it as much as like the formats of like the road rules or the challenges, or like for me personally, just watching. I haven't really ever gotten into like, I don't know, just following along with the people. I had a good buddy who went and did one of those, so I watched his seasons, and that was fun for me. But I've never really enjoyed those shows. They never really got me.
Yeah, I could agree with that, because I like how the challenge is, clear cut and dry. Everyone's in it, knows what they're fighting for, but they're also in a house. So there's different elements to it. And I just feel like Survivor, they don't do the crazy stuff that the challenge does. I don't feel as though their political, parts of the game are as, up to par as the challenge. And I just don't think the excitement level is there with just being stranded on an island. Everyone's just like moping around, People aren't really, maximizing their potential performance, because everyone's basically just starving on an island. And we've seen the challenge do a season actually called The Island, and that's regarded as like one of the worst seasons they've done.
Really?
So
yeah. No, I would agree. Yeah, it's just not as like electric to watch. It's a little more boring.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
don't
yeah,
knock
you're
anybody that's a fan of the show. Like,
Mm-mm.
you like what you like, but as a personal
sure.
preference, and I'm sure people have their gripes with the challenge and stuff they don't like about that, and I do at times as well as a viewer and fan. But
Yep.
out of the two, I would definitely still take the challenge.
Oh yeah, it's just, I mean, the challenge, like, it's just a little more rock and roll and a little bit more like fast paced, and the other one has a little bit more of, I mean, surviving. Like, you feel like you're a guy, you got to survive the show. You got to like sit there and watch it and go through it with them. It's like it has a little bit more of that. I guess. I don't know.
Well, it was a pleasure again to speak with you today, Dan.
Yeah, Mike.
Hope you're staying safe, doing well.
Yeah, you too, Mike. Thanks for hanging out. Appreciate you, man.
All right, take care, man.
All right, later.